Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that touches millions of lives around the world: trauma, PTSD, and the journey of healing. Whether you're here because you've experienced trauma yourself, you know someone who has, or you're simply interested in understanding more about mental health, this video is for you. We'll explore what trauma is, how PTSD develops, the science behind it, and most importantly the many paths to healing and hope. So let's get started. Let's begin by understanding what trauma actually is. Trauma is a response to a deeply distressing or disturbing event that overwhelms an individual's ability to cope. It can result from a single event, like a car accident or natural disaster, or from ongoing, repeated experiences, such as childhood abuse, domestic violence, or living in a war zone. Trauma isn't just about what happens to us, it's also about how we experience and process those events. Two people can go through the same situation and have very different reactions. This is because trauma is deeply personal, shaped by our histories, personalities, support systems, and even our biology. When we talk about trauma, it's important to recognize that it comes in many forms. There's acute trauma, which results from a single incident; chronic trauma, which is repeated and prolonged, like domestic violence or bullying; and complex trauma, which is exposure to varied and multiple traumatic events, often of an invasive interpersonal nature. There's also secondary or vicarious trauma, which can affect people who are exposed to the trauma of others, such as first responders, therapists, or even those who consume a lot of distressing news. Now let's talk about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD is a mental health condition that can develop after someone has experienced or witnessed a traumatic event. It's important to note that not everyone who experiences trauma will develop PTSD. In fact, most people don't. But for those who do, the symptoms can be life-altering. PTSD is characterized by four main types of symptoms: intrusive memories, avoidance, negative changes in thinking and mood, and changes in physical and emotional reactions. Intrusive memories can include flashbacks, nightmares, and distressing thoughts. Avoidance means steering clear of places, people, or activities that are reminders of the trauma. Negative changes in thinking and mood might look like persistent negative thoughts about oneself or the world, feelings of hopelessness, memory problems, or difficulty maintaining close relationships. Changes in physical and emotional reactions can include being easily startled, feeling tense or on edge, having trouble sleeping, or experiencing angry outbursts. The science behind PTSD is fascinating and complex. When we experience trauma, our brains and bodies react in ways that are designed to protect us. The amygdala, which is the brain's alarm system, goes into overdrive, triggering the fight, flight, or freeze response. At the same time, the hippocampus, which helps process memories, can become overwhelmed, making it difficult to distinguish between past and present danger. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking and decision-making, can become less active, making it harder to regulate emotions and responses. Over time, these changes can become ingrained, leading to the persistent symptoms of PTSD. But trauma and PTSD aren't just about the brain, they affect the whole body. Many people with PTSD experience physical symptoms like headaches, stomach problems, chronic pain, and a weakened immune system. This is because trauma can dysregulate the body's stress response, keeping it stuck in a state of hyperarousal, or conversely, shutting it down completely. This mind-body connection is why healing from trauma often requires addressing both psychological and physical aspects. It's also important to recognize the impact of trauma on relationships. Trauma can make it difficult to trust others, to feel safe, or to connect emotionally. Survivors may withdraw from loved ones, feel misunderstood, or struggle with intimacy. On the flip side, supportive relationships can be a powerful source of healing. Having someone who listens, believes, and stands by you can make all the difference. So how do people heal from trauma and PTSD? The journey is different for everyone, but there are some common threads. First and foremost, healing starts with safety. This means creating an environment, both internally and externally, where you feel secure and supported. For some, this might mean finding a safe place to live, distancing from harmful relationships, or establishing routines that provide a sense of stability. Therapy is one of the most effective tools for healing from trauma and PTSD. There are several evidence-based therapies that have been shown to help. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, helps people identify and change unhelpful thought patterns. Trauma-focused CBT is specifically designed for trauma survivors. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, or EMDR, uses guided eye movements to help the brain process and integrate traumatic memories. Prolonged exposure. Therapy involves gradually confronting trauma-related memories, feelings, and situations in a safe and controlled way. There's also somatic experiencing, which focuses on the body's sensations and aims to release stored trauma from the nervous system. Medication can also play a role in managing symptoms, especially for those struggling with severe anxiety, depression, or sleep problems. Antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, and sleep aids are sometimes prescribed, but they're most effective when combined with therapy and other forms of support. Beyond therapy and medication, there are many other paths to healing. Mindfulness and meditation can help calm the nervous system and bring awareness to the present moment. Yoga and other forms of movement can help release tension and reconnect with the body. Creative expression through art, music, writing, or dance can provide a safe outlet for emotions that are hard to put into words. Support groups, whether in person or online, offer a sense of community and understanding that can be incredibly validating. Self-care is another crucial aspect of healing. This means paying attention to your physical, emotional, and spiritual needs. It might involve getting enough sleep, eating nourishing foods, spending time in nature, or engaging in activities that bring you joy. It also means being gentle with yourself, recognizing that healing is a process with ups and downs, and that it's okay to ask for help. One of the most challenging aspects of healing from trauma is dealing with triggers. Triggers are reminders of the traumatic event that can cause intense emotional or physical reactions. They can be obvious, like the anniversary of an event, or subtle, like a particular smell or sound. Learning to recognize and manage triggers is a key part of recovery. This might involve grounding techniques such as focusing on your breath, naming objects in the room, or using sensory tools like a stress ball or soothing music. It's also important to challenge the stigma around trauma and PTSD. Many people feel ashamed or embarrassed about their experiences or worry that others won't understand. But trauma is incredibly common, and there is no shame in seeking help. In fact, reaching out for support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Let's take a moment to talk about the role of resilience in healing. Resilience is the ability to adapt and bounce back from adversity. It doesn't mean that you're unaffected by trauma, but rather that you're able to find ways to cope and move forward. Resilience can be built over time through supportive relationships, developing coping skills, and finding meaning in difficult experiences. For some, this might involve connecting with a sense of purpose, spirituality, or helping others who have gone through similar challenges. For those supporting someone with trauma or PTSD, it's important to be patient, compassionate, and non-judgmental. Listen without trying to fix or minimize their pain. Offer practical support, like helping with daily tasks or accompanying them to appointments. Encourage them to seek professional help if needed, but respect their pace and choices. Remember, healing is a personal journey, and everyone moves at their own speed. Let's also acknowledge that trauma doesn't just affect individuals. It can impact families, communities, and even entire societies. Intergenerational trauma refers to the ways in which the effects of trauma can be passed down from one generation to the next, through both learned behaviors and biological changes. This is seen in communities affected by war, colonization, systemic racism, and other forms of collective trauma. Healing at this level often involves not just individual therapy, but also community-based approaches, cultural reconnection, and social justice work. There's also a growing recognition of the importance of trauma-informed care in all areas of society, from schools and workplaces to healthcare and the justice system. Trauma-informed care means recognizing the prevalence and impact of trauma and creating environments that are safe, supportive, and empowering for everyone. This approach can help prevent re-traumatization and promote healing on a larger scale. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a message of hope. Healing from trauma and PTSD is possible. It may not be easy, and it may not happen overnight. But with the right support, tools, and resources, people can and do recover. They can build lives filled with meaning, connection, and joy. If you're struggling, know that you're not alone and that help is available. Reach out to a trusted friend, family member, or mental health professional. You deserve support and you deserve to heal. Before we go, let's quickly recap the key points from today's video. Trauma is a response to distressing events that can overwhelm our ability to cope. PTSD is a condition that can develop after trauma, with symptoms that affect thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Healing is possible through therapy, medication, self-care, and support from others. Resilience and community play a vital role in recovery, and trauma-informed care can make a difference at every level of society. If you'd like to learn more, there are many resources available. Organizations like the National Center for PTSD, the Trauma Recovery Network, and local mental health services can provide information and support. Books like The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk and Waking the Tiger by Peter Levine offer valuable insights into the science and healing of trauma. Remember, everyone's journey is unique, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach to healing. Thank you for joining me on this important conversation. If you have questions, thoughts, or experiences you'd like to share, please leave a comment below. Your story matters, and you never know who you might help by speaking out. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more content. See you in the next video.